Hello, fifth grade. Thanks for coming to Guilds today. So, a couple weeks ago, we talked about bear hangs and how to store food when you're in the backcountry. Today, we're going to be diving deeper into bear hangs and going through step by step on how to do one yourself. So, we're going to be doing this on campus, and then I'm going to teach you on here so that you can do it at home in your backyard. So I'm going to play a video for you, and I'm going to be pausing the video throughout it to provide any tips or tricks or alterations if you don't have the equipment that they talk about in the video. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the video.
With another All right, I am back here in the first person with another backpacking tips video. And today I'm going to show you how to hang your food bag using the PCT method of hanging. And if you're unfamiliar with the terms, this is also known as hanging a bear bag. So there's not always a reason to hang a bear bag, but when you do, the PCT method is by far the most effective. And it's actually pretty easy to learn, as you'll see here pretty soon. So what you're going to need here is your food bag, obviously. And on your food bag, you're going to need a carabiner of some sort. This one's a little bit hefty, but I'm just using it to make it easier to see on camera. But you can use any sort of carabiner, small carabiners, S-biners, they all work well. You're also going to need some rope. And as a starting point, I would say 50 feet of rope will be pretty sufficient for almost anywhere you want to hang. If you're going somewhere with really large trees, you may want a longer length of rope, maybe 60 feet, maybe a little bit more if the branches are really high up, just to allow you to get your rope over those branches and down again. So you're going to need a rope. On one end of the rope, you're going to want a loop. And I've used a bowline knot here to make a loop on this end of the rope, and you'll see where that comes into use here pretty soon. And if you don't know how to tie a bowline knot, just look it up on YouTube. It's really simple.
Okay, so I want to stop right here and talk about the bear bag. So a lot of people don't have bear bags. If you do, then you can use it for this exercise to do a bear hang. If you don't have a bear bag, then you can just use a stuff sack or waterproof sack that a lot of people have those. You could even use a grocery sack if you wanted to and just tie a knot at the top. You could use really any kind of bag because this is just for practice. So it doesn't have to be a bear bag specific. And also you don't have to have a carabiner either to do this. It does make it convenient for pulling it up, but again, it can be done without a carabiner.
In addition to the rope, you will need some sort of weight to get your rope over a tree limb so you can throw it over the tree limb. You could use a heavy stick, a big rock, and tie your rope to the rock. Or what I do is I find a couple of small rocks, and I've got this really lightweight, weighs almost nothing Tyvek bag, and I'll keep my rope in this bag. So when I take the rope out, I just fill the bag up with a couple of small rocks, and I've got a really great weight that helps me throw the rope over the tree limb.
So what I like to use is a stake bag. So in your tent, if you have a tent at home, if you go inside it, there's going to be a bag that holds the stakes. So that's what I like to use. I like to put a couple of rocks in the stake bag and use that for throwing the weight.
And in addition to the weight, you will need a stick. Now, I hope you can find a stick in the woods. If not, any sort of long, narrow object like this will work. And that's pretty much all you need. Now I'll get down to actually throwing it and showing you how it works. So the first step here is going to be securing your rope using the loop on the end to whatever type of object weight you're using to throw the rope over the limb. For this bag, what I do is make a little lark's head knot on the end of the loop and feed the top of the bag through it and just cinch it down like that, and that's not going to go anywhere. That's a perfect way to throw this rope over a limb. So once you have your weight secured, the next step is to actually throw the rope. And this is by far the hardest step. And I guess finding a limb is part of that. So you can see here, I'm going to be using this limb, long horizontal limb here, just for demonstration purposes. Typically, you want a limb that's at least 25 feet off the ground. This one's more around 20, but 25 to 30 feet is sufficient. And you're going to want to hang your rope at least 6 feet from the base, the trunk of the tree, so a bear can't climb up the tree and reach out from the tree and grab your bag. You also want it 6 feet down from the horizontal limb you're hanging from, so the bear can't crawl out onto the limb and reach down and grab your bag. You'll see this later, but you want your bag at least 6 feet, hopefully more, off the ground, so the bear can't stand up and grab your bag that way. Anyways, now to get your bag of rocks or your weight over the limb, I find the best way is to do an underhand swing. Throwing overhand actually makes it a little bit harder to get over the limb and get the height you need. So let's give this a shot here. There we go. So now you drop your weight down, and you can see here, I've got both ends of the rope, and it's crossing over the branch, nothing's in the way. So now what you do is undo your weight from the rope, and on the end with a loop on it, you're going to take your food bag and carabiner and just clip the carabiner right onto that loop, like that. And with the other end of the rope, you're going to actually feed that through the carabiner as well. So it's gonna.
So like I said before, if you don't have a carabiner, you can just use a half hitch knot, which he's gonna show you in a minute how to do that. And you can just put it around the bag, around the neck of the bag, and pull tight. And then if you didn't have a carabiner, then you wouldn't be feeding the rope through the other side. So how he did, it would just be on the bear bag alone.
Gonna look something like this, going up to the limb, two ends coming down and one connecting to the carabiner and one running through it. And now most of the hard work is done. Now you just pull down on the loose end of the rope and your bag will move up towards the tree. And you pull it almost all the way to the top as far as you can. And now is where the stick comes into play. You're going to be making what's called a clove hitch onto this stick.
So if you don't have a carabiner, then you wouldn't be doing this step. But this is an awesome step to do if you do have a carabiner.
I'm going to try to show it here, but if you don't understand how to make it after this video, look it up on YouTube. It's really simple. And you want to make this clove hitch at a height above your head just to give the bag.
So this is the knot that I was talking about if you don't have a carabiner, how you would tie the rope onto the bag.
Some more height when it's hanging. And you'll see how that works in a second here. But to make a clove hitch, I normally make a loop of rope like so, and then make another one in your other hand. So you have two loops here, and now switch the loops so that they are aligned on the other side of each other. So basically,
so if you don't have a carabiner, when you make these two knots, what's called the clove hitch, you would just put the neck of the bag up through these two knots and pull tight.
Take the front loop and do that, put it behind the back loop. And then you just take your stick here, run it through both of the loops, tighten it down, and you've got a clove hitch. And what that does is suspend the stick in the rope, but it doesn't allow the stick to move up or down the rope. So it basically makes a little stopper for your food bag. And so now you just slowly let the rope go back up, and the stick will catch in the carabiner just like that, and your food bag will be suspended midair. All right, so that is how the PCT hang works. And one of the other benefits you'll see of the PCT hang compared to a traditional hang is this rope, no matter what a bear does with it, is not going to cause this food bag to fall. With a traditional hang, the rope is tied off to another tree somewhere, so if a bear could cut that rope, the bag will fall down. But in this case, you have
So just like he said, if you don't have a carabiner, that you're going to do the traditional way where you tie the end of the rope to another tree to secure it.
to actually physically pull down on this rope, which a bear is not going to be able to do to get the food down. And I'll show you that real quick. To get your food down, you basically just pull down on this rope and undo your clove hitch here on the stick. And this is where a smooth stick kind of pays off. You can just slide the clove hitch right off the end there. And then you just slowly release it, and your food bag comes down. Just take that end of the rope out of the carabiner and take this end off of the carabiner, and you're good to go. You now have your food, which has not been accessed by wild animals. So that's how you do a PCT hang. Hopefully this was a clear enough video. I will be making some more videos soon, and of course the tree series is coming once I get that video uploaded.
Okay, so that is how you do the PCT method for a bear hang, and that's the one that we're going to be practicing. So now that you know how to do it, you can go outside, make sure that you gather your materials, your bear bag or whatever bag you're using. If it's a compression sack, fill it with some food to practice. You'll need a rope, just like he said, a carabiner if you have one, and a stick. So, and then the sack with some rocks in it. So go ahead and collect your items, go outside, find a tree, and practice the bear hang. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to walk you through it or provide further instructions if you need it. I hope you guys have fun. Bye.